Hi guys! 2 new episodes called Perfection and Emotion were released at once. Most of them I liked the episode Emotion. I will not hide, I have been waiting for the appearance of Felix and the Peacock Stone of Wonders for a long time. The Peacock Talisman is probably one of the most powerful miracle stones. And this episode was another proof of this fact. Marinette and Adrien together. How long everyone had been waiting for this, and finally they got closer. We were shown a romantic date. They are enjoying ice cream and even came to kissing, but suddenly they were interrupted by a call from Adrien's phone. It looks like Gabriel called him urgently, and he rushed towards the house like an obedient puppy. This frame unwittingly hints at impeccable obedience, even in such romantic moments. Ask yourself the question, what would you do at this moment? We will return to this issue a little later. As Adrien was running, he was stopped by Felix's voice from the booth. Of course, he could not pass by, and at that moment Felix simply neutralized his brother by taking his ring. I wonder why he didn't realize that it was a Cat Noir ring, and why Plague didn't appear before the new owner of the Stone of Wonders. Felix replaces Adrien again, and in order not to be recognized, he disguises the rings. It is in this ring that Felix will plant a feather and create a strong Sentimonster red moon. With one click of his fingers, he will be able to remove people he does not like and return them back in the same way. Next, the whole series will be without Adrien and, accordingly, without the Cat Noir. This is a very unusual series, where a grand masked private party will be announced, with only the elite of the city invited to it. Marinette, of course, is not on the guest list. We were shown the moment when she is standing in line at the cinema with Zoe. An interesting remark, they don't want to watch some melodrama, but a real zombie movie. Can you imagine what kind of movies Marinette likes? I wonder if we will ever be shown real zombies in this cartoon. Remember, we have already been shown a similar plot, but everything looks somehow childish there. But there have been no real zombies attacking people who are hungry for human blood yet. Probably, unfortunately, they won't show it. Although maybe it was another reference to the episode in the future. Zoe does not like such pretentious parties, and knowing about her sympathy for Adrien easily gives her mask, which is also an invitation card. An interesting fact is that Amelie was not invited to this party, and when trying to shame Gabriel in this, she is simply escorted out of the gate with the help of security. Felix, again, no one can distinguish from Adrien, and he easily replaces him at the party. Pay attention to this fact. When he greets Kagami, he notices the ring and just falls into a kind of stupor. What does it mean? Here, with each such frame, we are getting closer to the most mysterious theory and Sentimonsters. Let me remind you that in theory, Adrien, Felix, and Kagami are artificially created with the help of the Peacock Miracle Stone. But at the same time they themselves do not know about it. Perhaps Felix learned that he was not a man only recently from the words of his dying father. It was after that he became very interested in the rings that Gabriel had at that time. 3 rings and 3 created ideal children, who then grew up alone, closed from society. Only recently, at this age, they were allowed to communicate with ordinary people. They didn't have any friends before, and they just didn't know how to behave with their peers. Of course, Adrien, it turned out better to make friends, probably only because he was already a well-known fashion model at that time. Gabriel's wedding ring proves his power over Adrien. He often touches him in conversation with his son, and he does everything he says. Felix was eager to get this Stone of Miracles precisely because of his freedom. At the end of the series, we were shown exactly this trio, and Felix's offer to surround himself with only desirable people. He was tired of imperfect people, he no longer wanted to prove anything to anyone. He never had any friends, and he wanted to change this whole not ideal world the way he wants. He wanted to win over Adrien and Kagami, but in the end he got a backlash, and when he tried to return his beloved to Adrien, he failed, because he did not actually vaporize her. He vaporized Ladybug, and with this fact he couldn't snap his fingers to make Marinette appear. This led him to confusion. He realized that he could not fully control the situation and that he was finally losing touch with his brother. He agrees to return all the people, after which Marinette suddenly appears. Felix's plan for a happy world has failed. Perhaps he had been hatching this plan for years and imagined something else in his dreams. Felix is confused and desperate. As before, his mother remains the closest and dearest person. It looks like Amélie knew about Felix's plans from the very beginning. Let's go back to the shots at the party. Gabriel and Tsurugi persistently bring Adrien with Kagami. At this costume ball, they were again in the spotlight, as if they were the king and queen of the ball. At that moment, it seemed to me that Felix had warm feelings for Kagami. Despite this, he gives the dance to Marinette because he doesn't want Adrien's relationship to deteriorate. Marinette is exposed at this party, and Felix does not allow her to be treated disdainfully, reincarnating in front of everyone in Argos. And the first thing he does is vaporize Gabriel so that he does not interfere with him. This revolutionary series, where the monarch, the Cat Noir, is not involved and Ladybug is essentially helpless. It is not for nothing that this episode is called an emotion. It all started with emotions and it all ended with emotions. Felix, in this episode, did not look like a notorious supervillain. Rather, it was a cry of despair and an attempt to change this unfair world. As a result, his goal was by no means evil and even childishly naive. I felt very sorry for Felix in the final. I used to think he was as nasty as Lila, but in this episode one looked at him with different eyes. Now it seems to me that he may well become a positive character in the future. Kagami, she could be a good match for him. Do you think it's possible? Write your thoughts about this episode. And that's all I have for today. Subscribe to the channel, put likes and click the bell. Goodbye, my good ones.